So in actuality, this is like telling you that you probably shouldn't be married to your partner until they're filled up and have a covenant of unconditional love, or you're just going to be in problems.
Yes.
Because then you're just going to be entering into a love that has conditions.
The mother has the ability to conceive correctly so she can nurture. She's a life giver. And so she's able to carry a certain weight and measure that allows her to navigate relationship because she is a nurturer.
Right, and so she's supposed to be teaching her children these things.
So you can go to 3-6...
And through the Aleph Tav. Vav Aleph Tav.
So you can go to 3-9-6-7, just so people can see the other measure.
Is that the Amma?
It's by exchange for Mia. It's right in the definition of cubit 520, but you can go out to...
Okay, so I need to go back to Amma. Okay. Mea. Yep. So this is the same gematria as Amma, as Mea. So if people are wanting to know 30, 60, 100-fold.
Yep. This is
so the parable of the seed, it's the measure of the yield.
Yep, exactly. So we're just skipping a stone over the water right now. We can't sink in too deep, even though this is good stuff. But we still, just like people need to do their own work right now, but we're just showing you this is all connected. This is amazing stuff.
So the 100-fold measure is mother coming with the breath in and the breath out. The spirit of breathing, the inhale and the exhale.
Yep.
Of learning one love.
They are a completed measure in earth. And then from that place of 3-9-6-7, can you jump to 3-9-6-8, please? Because it's from the same word, but these are a tower of Jerusalem.
The Tower of the 100.
Right.
And that's even the way it's the Great Tower, because it's Mi Gadol. It doesn't say Great Tower here, but it's Mi Gadol Ha'am. Yeah, it's the Great Tower.
So think of
Mi Gadol.
Think of even Babel, because Babel is directly connected to the language. Mother teaches you how to speak and become the language, but you've taken Babel from out of really confusion, you've rendered clear, because that's really what it means. So you've become the tower, and that's that whole premises of what Babylon was. You've taken the language, and you've become the measure of intention. You don't need to build it on the outside. It's all an inside job.
Absolutely. So Bebel is bet lamed. So the twin teachings that will build your inside authority.
Yeah.
The double measure of inside authority, because it's two bets.
Yes.
It's two teachings that you build that give you authority.
Yes. And then, so...
That's interesting too, because it's Kedusha. It's Kedusha. Holy, sanctified, consecrated.
Right. There's a deeper level to this. We're not going to go there because the mem olive, and we can see that actually see how it's even changed. So now the olive went into the inside and the mother's on the outside, right?
Right.
But yet it's still saying the same thing. But we had a morphing here that changed from mother, and this is where it goes a little deep because this goes right to desire. This goes. We don't need to go there, but you can if you want. It's 3970 because this leads right to nothing. 369. But we can just go into one word, but this is now the desire.
And we talk about that, how big desire is.
So it's huge. Huge. Desire is a huge word. And that's rooted from 183. And this goes into many things that we're going to go into because desire, the olive vav, is in the center of tone. Well, let's go to the next word. And you shall finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Kala, and it means to end. That's why I brought up the ark in the beginning.
Well, and this is the same word for bride.
We're going to go there in a second. So yeah, we're going to go, and it roots out. So you can see this that you can go down to.
Well, it's interesting because this word, in the way it's written, right? So if kala, I'm going down to so they can see it, to end, to cease, to be finished, perish, or transitive, to complete, prepare, and consume.
I wanted to focus on. I want to keep my focus.
That's just the definition of the word.
Yes, it is. So I want to focus on two words here: to be completed and at the end, finished. And so let's look at that, highlight that. Now let's break down the definition of this. If you go to 3617, we're going to extrapolate out what you just said so people can see that. And then we're just going to linger here just for a second. So we can still see completion, complete, and then destruction and consumption.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from Kala 3615.
Mm-hmm. We were just there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I wanted to go to, from the root of this is 3618.
Mm-hmm. Bride.
And then 3634.
Kala.
Completed and perfect.
And I've shared this before, but someone who haven't heard this before, this was the name of Superman.
Kal-El. Yeah.
Kal-El.
Yeah. And we're going to actually talk about...
Kal from the house
of
El.
And we're going to talk about the adversary part of Kal-El too.
Right.
That is Zod. General Zod, who was in that story as well, because it's in this story too. But I wanted the two occurrences of Kal-El. You can see that your builders have perfected your beauty. We talked about beauty for ashes.
We did.
And then the other occurrences, all around, they perfected your beauty. So the completed have turned ashes for beauty. It's right there.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have, I wanted to focus on this word specifically because we're going to just do a little...
Well, and builders is Benai Kaf.
Right.
Right, so they've grasped a hold of the language while they were in the material world.
Right. So now these twins of mother and father, the 22 and the 22, and we just stated that you shall finish it to be completed. That's the definition of this. So can you go to...
Well, do you want to talk about how it's written?
Sure, talk about it.
Because, so we already went through all of that. You shall finish it, but what is added? So we've got the Tav, so they're marked with the golden rule.
Yep.
But the Nun has been added. So now these are those that took the spiritual path that have now risen their beast-like nature into something that is new flesh.
Yep.
I mean, this would be incorruptible flesh versus the corruptible flesh.
Yes.
And they will be revealed having that.
Yes.
Hence why the Hey is there.
Yes.
And how Hey is the Father's teaching.
And remember, yes, absolutely. And remember what we
that
shared.
Has to be spiritually discerned.
Right, and this goes back to the theft in the garden and the two thieves in the garden, that one had redemption and one did not.
Yeah.
And so we're still focusing on that. So yeah, so this is redemption here, about being completed at the end. But can you go to, please, to 8537, completeness, and part of the high priest breastplate, right?
So for people, if they want to know, this would be the Thumim.
This is the Thumim.
So completeness and integrity.
Perfections and lights.
And lights is Urim.
And we're going to get to that in a second. But so.
Well, it's good that we're talking about this, because this has been a huge mystery.
Right.
Most people within the Christian church, or even in like the Hebrew roots concept, do not understand what the Urim and the Thummim is.
Right. Well, we're building it.
Yes, we are.
You're becoming it through the letters and the frequency, and you can see that on that tome. That's how you spell twin. So we have. So I just want to. But look at the definition, the frequency attached to this. Innocence, full integrity, perfection, simplicity, uprightness.
Right. So that's what King James translated that, and so in it, so it's completeness, prosperity, and morally innocence.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all about self-adjudication.
Right.
And how do you self-adjudicate? By comprehending law.
Right.
Of love.
Right.
To adjudicate correctly, balanced as a menorah.
Yeah.
In the merciful words of adjudication.
Yeah.
To bring the rendering forward of the verdict of innocence.
Of one love.
Of one love.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what's being said here.
And the first occurrence of this, beton.
Right.
Beton labab.
Yep.
So it's the authority on the inside through the two teachers that bring forth that which you need to build in love. That is, then gives you the power.
Yep.
Of love.
This is.
And then it even has hava, which means breathing ones.
Right.
Breathing ones who have built love through the twin covenants, so that you have authority in your heart, which is the power.
Right.
Of one love.
Of one love.
That's so awesome.
So now to tie this in a little, just to reel it in, squeeze it in a little bit, we'll just squeeze some juice out of this. It's from Thumim. Can you go to 8552?
To be complete or finished.
In love. Tav mem mem.
And the double mem, that's actually how you spell the
mem.
Single symbol mem.
So two become one.
Mm-hmm.
Accomplished. And we just talked about that. So now we just talked about you're to build this and become accomplished. And accomplishes with the squeezing. And you can see in that down below too, it says the end is in that word as well. In the definition down below.
Yeah, come to an end. And I like that even going through Brown Drivers Briggs, to deal in integrity, make sound in thy ways, to destroy uncleanness, to complete and to sum up, to finish, to cease doing, come to an end, perfect.
It's when
to become perfected.
It was when we get, and I want to give people hope here, because there's hope in here too, and we need to be patient right now, because those that have done the work and we're at our wits' end, we're at that place right now.
Yeah, because this also means to be consumed, exhausted, and spent.
Yeah, because in this verse, this is why I wanted to go. This is a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I wanted to show this because we are all spent right now. I'm spent. You're spent. I know your heart. I know there are people out there. They're going, where are the ones that I feel so lonely? We're about to, the ones that have done the work, that something marvelous is about to happen. And it's tethered to have hope and be patient right now, that we're in the finishing process of being fully accomplished in this.
The final push of the waiting.
Yep. So could you go please to 8550, just to talk, because it's connected to tome, complete best breath, just to connect it.
Yeah, the Thumim.
So the twins, the Tav Mem is connected to the Thumim, right?
Well, and it's interesting because it's Mayim.
And you can see that
it's waters.
And you can see that it's actually plural of Tom, perfections.
Yeah.
Twin perfections.
And right before that, in the very first occurrence, it's Vav Aleph Tav.
Right.
Connected to perfections.
Right.
Which is the Mayim, the living water instructions.
Right.
that are revealing the covenant of one love.
Right. Big stuff here.
Yeah,
This is big stuff.
And there's that Urim, Ha-Urim, We'et, Ha-Thumim.
Right.
Light.
And then you can see the occurrence.
The light of the sea.
Right. Can you?
Right?
Which are you looking at?
I'm just looking at Exodus 28:30 because again, Yom or Yod Mem C is connected to Asherah,
right.
the Queen of Heaven. So this is the light of the sea, the Queen of Heaven, that was connected through the Aleph Tav, the first and the last, the beginning and the end, that have been completed and perfected.
Absolutely. Now, before we go any further, so we can see in that verse, and then we're going to just do a little jump where you see that Ezra 2:63 is talking about stood up with the Urim and the Thummim.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to look at the...
Well, isn't that interesting? It's kun.
Yeah.
But it has a hey in it now.
The Revelation.
I mean, generally, that's spelled, generally, it is spelled a kaf vav nun, and it's hey. So this is inside Revelation.
Yeah.
So just like Abraham had his name changed from Abram to Avraham,
the hay is now
the house the hay is inside.
Yeah.
And then Sarai went to Sarah because she had the Father's revelation.
Right. So we're going to break down the Urim here pretty quick, but I want to look at one thing first because we're just explaining the tome, and I want to say, well, it does say plural, and it does say, that it's, so you would assume it'd be twins, but because of how it's connected here, let's go, and we're talking about perfections. Let's connect it. So let's go to 8380.
Yeah.
So there's the top mem, and in the center we have the Aleph Vav. And the Vav, that's a spiritual issue here. And when we're going to look at a little bit more.
Well, that's really interesting because Aven, we were just looking at Aven.
Right.
Right? Aven was vanity.
Vanity.
So this is doing something that isn't a vanity. You've removed the flesh.
Yeah. You spiritually journeyed into love. Because
now you're connected. You have the spirit within, the spirit of oneness, and you've been filled up with that.
Right.
And you've dropped the fallen flesh.
So we have twins. Now, so that's 8380. Can you go to, because let's bring twins, so can you go to 8420B?
Yeah, a twin.
A twin. Same spelling?
Well, I don't know if it is or not.
It's exactly the same.
Okay.
Same vowel points and everything. So then can you go to 8420A?
A mark.
Because that's where we're going to next.
And this one says there's 3 occurrences.
3 occurrences in this one, right. And this is my point, because the twins, so we have 3 occurrences, Job, Ezekiel, and Ezekiel, right? There's 2 occurrences.
And I've been covering this in the ancient Hebrew wedding about the mark of the beast.
Right. So this is the mark. Behold the mark. Here's my signature, and I put a mark on the foreheads. And then on whom is the mark? Right. This is where you're going to begin. So there's the mark.
And whoever has the mark, do not touch.
So we've just showed you that this is the signature on the mark, the Vav Tav, which is the love of sovereignty or sovereign love, and it is connected to the tome, the twins. And then I wanted to go to now, if we look at the twins, we've already looked at the spelling of the twins. We just showed it. It's Tav,
Aleph, Vav, Mem.
Can you go to Strong's 176?
So before I say that, this is connecting the Kayutha. the beast of Revelation that puts a mark on the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
So what they have told us as being a negative thing is the exact opposite of the truth. The mark on the forehead is the signature of love, of unconditional love.
Yes. So we're showing.
Which is the frontlets between the eyes, where you have discernment, bayin.
So let's see what's in the heart of Tom. What is in the heart of a twin who has become one?
The Aleph Vav.
The Aleph Vav. Oh.
Oh.
And we look at that, and it's short for Ahava. It should be Strong's 185.
And it means desire.
Desire.
Yeah.
And that actually, because now I can give you all the desires.
Well, that's interesting. The hay was removed because people were not desiring the Father's revelation.
Right.
They were just left with desire. So you're hunting and chasing around the world for desire because you have something that you have a longing for, but you don't know what it is because that revelation was removed.
Right.
Because this is saying desire the Father's revelation.
So desire. So go to 177.
Well, it's just interesting. You have Aleph Vav Tav on that very first occurrence.
You do. Yeah.
Which means that you are a miracle.
You are a sign and a miracle.
A beacon.
Yep.
So this is a beacon of desire because you've been completed, you've been filled up.
This is your heart. You filled up your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an inside job.
Absolutely.
So 177 real quick. I just wanted to show all.
No, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Uel.
Uel. All of
desire of El.
The desire of El. Does it also see the wish of God?
Wish of God.
One occurrence in Ezra 10:34.
Yeah.
Right? Can you go to 177a?
Desire.
And then can you go to 177b?
The will of God. Yeah, well, I guess this answers the question, what is the will of God?
Right.
So the will of God is that you would take the two twin teachings, the mother and the father, the two Alephs that are actually one, that was seamlessly divided, hence why the Vav that connects the two, who are your teachers, that will give you the desire to become a strong leader, teaching shepherd as God, that have become one and instruct the way of one.
They've separated themselves.
That is the wish of God, and that is the will of God.
Absolutely.